Raw Culture and Impulse Social Enterprises presents.
If you are a solo traveler and you're on the way to Tawang, don't forget to stop at Bomdila for at least 2 nights and take a tour around this beautiful place. And don't miss Bomdila, the monastery, which is just out here, that gives a scenic beauty. The monastery itself has a school, and it also has this quiet place where you can really sit down for meditation, and the nature is at its best. Do stop by at Bomdila, which is the beautiful part of on the way to Tawang. 6 hours drive from Bomdila. We are here at Sela Pass, which is 13,700 feet, and this is the point where it takes you up to the high altitude. The high altitude is something that one has to get acclimatized as a solo traveler, and it's very important that you eat something as you travel on the car, because it helps to get that move and the body gets tuned. You are stopping at Sela Pass. You need to also take a little break to see things around, which is completely very beautiful during the winter. And like the Sela Lake, which is completely frozen at this point, and it's absolutely very, very cold. And it's something that when you come in the summer, this lake is completely very different and scenic, and now it's completely frozen. So for a solo traveler, this is a complete different view, different scenic, and it's getting you all along as we go back to Tawang. Away from Sela Pass, as we drive to Tawang, we should always make it a point to visit the Just One War Memorial, where we can also have a glimpse of a little bit of the war history, glimpses of the Battle of Dhirang, which is on 17 November 1962. This has been created as a memorial place, which is also very touristic, and it has a lot of people who are actually visiting as they visit Tawang. As I approached to Tawang in another 2 hours, I decided to stop over at the Dhirang waterfalls, which is quite an interesting waterfall for the winter season, because the water is not so strong, but still it's very beautiful and a lot of greenery, and a lot of tourists would normally stop here, so it's very touristic in nature. Here I am, the Tawang Monastery, which is more than 300 years old. It's a revisit after 9 years, which still remind me of the beautiful part that I've spent in this place. And today I was just sitting here trying to revisit, although there's a lot of construction happening, especially the library and the common room that they are making. The meditation inside the monastery is so calm. A solo traveler like me, who's like back-to-back kind of traveling all the time, back-to-back traveling, I think this is the right place to be. And the monastery has this amazing scenic view, where on my left there is this nature part of the different hamlets of the village in Tawang that has this beautiful sunset that comes, which is just look back into the valley of the Tawang villages. And on my right, I could see the construction going on. Although the sound is amazingly loud, but I think I still enjoyed so much of the calmness that I spent here today. If you ever plan a visit in the Northeast, do not miss to visit the Tawang Monastery. And if you love to learn more about the history, spend some time at the museum and also spend some time at the Cultural Studies Center. And the amazing conversation that you can have with the lamas out here will give you a very deeper understanding on how this place has become one of the strongest historical story that it has, the background, and of course the Dalai Lama himself, who was here when the renovation of this place happened in 1997, when the new structure was constructed. And there's so much history about him and his journey that is associated with the Tawang Monastery. Don't miss it. do visit Tawang Monastery. As I walk out from the Tawang Monastery, this pathway that takes you to the exit has this beautiful nature across. In this deep winter, it's so cold, but it's so amazingly quiet. And this place has this amazing calmness, and this calmness is undescribable. You just can't describe this. What I love about my traveling is spending time in places like this, and nothing best beats the Tawang Monastery, especially after spending quiet time inside the monastery and reflecting on oneself, meditating, which I normally do whenever I visit monastery. I guess this practice of mine of meditating has made me an ongoing traveling person, more calm, more resilience to all the challenges that a woman traveler would normally face in her day-to-day work, who's actively traveling day in and day out. After visiting Tawang Monastery and spending a lot of quiet time to myself, having a long discussion with the Lama, I was just realizing I was feeling so hungry. I decided to stop here at Dharma Coffee House, which is newly open. It was not here 9 years ago when I visited. And they have amazing vegetarian pizza and coffee and great tea. I just enjoyed the ginger tea, which I just had a while back as a setback to go to the base where I'm staying at the Indo-Tibetan Border Security Forces. Don't miss to visit this cafe because it's amazing quiet time that you can give to yourself. Here's inside Dharma Coffee House, which is an amazing place that I was spending the last 2 hours reading as well as having my lemon ginger tea, which is amazing and just perfect for this winter weather. And I could see the amazing books collection that they had, and I would say that this book got me very intriguing in the last 2 hours is The Ocean and the Blue Mountains, which is the Dalai Lama in Arunachal Pradesh, a journey of his trip to Arunachal. Don't miss reading this, and I think the government of Arunachal has an amazing coffee table book which everybody should read when they come here. And this place also have this quietness that a lot of young people come and hang around, and the coffee shop has this amazing setting, very wooden, and I just love it. Don't miss when you are in Tawang, especially after visiting the monastery, you should be stopping by this coffee place because it has an amazing ambience, it has this beautiful nature around, and an amazing food. We are at Shamchetar Lake, which is very near to Bumla, and we are going to be driving another 7 kilometers to be reaching the border. As I'm approaching to Bumla, and we're just stopping at Shamchetar Lake. It's just lovely to see women working, and I think a lot of women who are making the road back to the border. And who says women don't have a lot of strength? On the way to the Chinese border, which is Bumla, we're stopping nearby at Naguna Lake, which is completely frozen. And this way is going back to the higher altitude and we're traveling back. So this entire road is a little bit patchy, but it has a little bit of nice sunlight on the left hand side, but I could see a lot of snow, but it was melting today because the weather is extremely good. And this drive back is taking us to a higher and higher altitude, and we just need to get acclimatized. It's always good to chew something on the car because that helps if you're a first time traveler to any high altitude. We are at the Bumla Peak, which is the border of China, and you can feet, and the altitude is much more higher. As we go on, we see the border line, which is actually the border line of India and China, the friendship line. And we need to take the permission, and nobody can really cross the border line out there because we need to get the person from the army who will take you across, and then you can come back. And no photography is allowed on the other side. So the end point is here, where all tourists will be traveling and come back. And it's quite freezing today. It's cold, and the end point of after Tawang travel. It's amazing. It's sunny, but unfortunately we have no snow today. I'm walking back to my car and going now to the famous Madhuri Lake, which is the Shamsher Lake, driving back. And it's been a wonderful drive up here at Bumla. Revisiting Sangatskar Lake, which is also called the Madhuri Lake, and it's popularly known as Madhuri Lake because the film Koila was shot here, and today, because of that popular Bollywood film, you can see a lot of tourists, a lot of changes has happened, and because it's winter, we can see that this whole lake is completely frozen, but still the picture of the lake has this amazing footsteps of people walking and playing around, and looking at the mountain tops is quite beautiful. And as we go along, the only difference that I can see after 9 years is that more and more people are visiting this place. It's becoming more popular and more touristic in nature. But I'm missing what it was there 9 years ago. It was really beautiful, it was really quiet, it's more scenic. So here we are at Dhirang Valley, the Northfield Retreat, which is such a beautiful property. I'm so happy as a solo traveler to end my trip after Tawang, relaxing here for 2 nights, spending the New Year. And the amazing part of this place is that there is a orchid little park, and they also have some oranges trees around, and we have grape trees and vineyards. And it's such an interesting traditional building and quiet from everything, but beautifully the valley is warm, and enjoying a fulfilling night, a trip that you would like to relax and unwind as you go back to work. Here we are at the Dhirang Village, which is in Dhirang district, a beautiful hamlet which is almost 300 years plus. Around this place we could see these little architecture which has got this ancient way of how it's being built, which has got stone pedals, and we still have around 200 families who are living here. And it's lovely playing with all these little kids out here in 1st of January, celebrating New Year.